What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of My Team Career Mode. Today we are here for the season 3 of our My Team Career, and it is going to be a British Grand Prix, and this is going to be a dry race, so there is no chance of a wet weather setup as we are doing some R&D upgrades to improve our car. And currently we are not at the bottom of the chart, so we are just below the Alfa Romeo, so we have a lot of scope to improve, and hopefully with the coming upgrades and the better upgrades we can do, we can just gain through the R&D chart as soon as possible. So let's head to the qualifying session. As in the Q1 session, I'll be going for some aggressive setup, so I'll be using the least amount of downforce as I could, because in the Canadian Grand Prix we struggled with high downforce and we were just losing too much of time in the corners. But in our Q1 banker lap, you can see we were too slow and we just did not get the tires to the optimum temperature, and it made us lose quite a bit of time, and I couldn't go again and improve upon that. So we finished in P22 as our teammate is in P14 position. So we'll be starting from the back of the grid, and I'm hopeful that maybe we can use this soft to hard strategy and make some things work. As Leclerc, Verstappen, Norris, Sainz are in the top two of the grid. Our teammate is in P15 and we are starting from P21 as Oscar Piastri takes a grid penalty. So it is 5 red lights. And away we go for the start of the British Grand Prix from here at Silverstone. And it is a decent start because obviously we are on the soft tires and we are at the back of the grid, so there is very less chance of overtaking anyone. But we have to use the soft tires to good effect because obviously they will be lasting only for 5 to 6 laps. So within those 5 to 6 laps only we have to make some overtakes as we go down the inside of at least 4 cars and make the most stick. So right now we are just behind Latifi and Dragovic is just behind us, so we'll have to control our car, otherwise it will go into Spinella. So we have to be careful with the throttle application because right now our tires are still cold. But compared to others who are just in front of us in the medium tires, we can just go around the outside at this loop and claim the position on Latifi. But Latifi is also not going to give up easily because obviously he is in the AlphaTauri car and it is having some superior straight line speed, so we go around the outside at this cop and leave enough of space at the inside so that Latifi does not make contact with us and we just make the move. So GG's to our racing, as right now we are just behind Guanyu Zhou and we are going through this last penultimate corner and we just make a move down the inside of Guanyu Zhou and make the move stick. We almost collided with the side part of Zhou, but he just gives us enough of space for us to go around the outside at this ultimate corner and we cross the line at P16 position. So it is a lot of scope for improvement as our teammate is in front of us and we just go around the outside at this corner and we were trying to make the move but our teammate has some better traction and he just goes in front of us, but we are using our ERS and trying to go around the inside at this cops corners. So will we be able to make the move? Let's see. And we just go down the inside and we use as little braking as possible so that we can use the aerodynamic of the car to make the car turn. So we are using as little aerodynamics as possible because I was having some difficulty in the Canadian Grand Prix and I do not want to make that same mistake again. So we are using some aggressive setup and we are trying to be as fast as possible in a straight line, and that is the setup we have went for in this British Grand Prix. As this is a power circuit, so we have to be quick as we go down the inside of Tsunoda and make the most stick. So Tsunoda again left enough of space and we have to use this soft tires to good effect because obviously they will be dropping off in the upcoming laps, and after that we just will not be having so much of grip as we are having it now. So now Alex Albon is in front of us and we have to overtake as many cars as possible. So let's see what we can do here as we are going on this old start finish straight and onto this cops corner. We are gaining so much of time on Alex Albon because obviously we are just using 2 less of a downforce and we are just cranking the engine up. So it is 8th gear right through this maggots and Beckett section. You can see how much close we are to following Alex Albon, and the presence of dirty air is there, but still we are using the soft tires to good effect as we are just catching in front of Alex Albon and using the slipstream and ERS and DRS, and we just make the most stick. Side by side we are going through this hanger straight and yes, we make the most stick around the outside, and this was a good overtake I would say because we used the full potential of our car to overtake Alex Albon, and definitely he's a challenger to us because the Williams is obviously a direct competitor to us, so we have to make the most stick and gain some points in the R&D chart as well as in the constructors so that we can move up the order in this season. As right now we are just behind Kevin Magnussen and obviously the 2 Haas cars are in front of us, so this is going to be a challenge because the Haas is powered by the Ferrari and they are having some superior straight line speed, as we just had a bit of movement at the start finish straight, but no issues, we just able to control the car. As I was thinking of going down the inside of the Haas here, but K-Mag just closes the door and we couldn't make the most stick. So again in the old start finish state we were just trying to go down the inside at the cops corner, but it was too far-fetched idea and I did not want to take any risk. So we are waiting for an opportunity so that we can just make a clean move and not get any entangled with the Haas cars in front of us, or just ruin our race and the other races also, because we need some clean racing here at this British Grand Prix. So we are just trying to follow the Haas cars as close as possible, because the presence of dirty air is still a significant factor, and we have to take that into consideration, as now Schumacher is in front of us and we are just trying to send a move down the inside, and he just leaves enough of space and just moves away. So GG's to Schumacher for just fair racing. And now we are just again at the lap 8, and I was thinking that maybe I should go to the pits, because obviously our tires are dropping off and we are losing quite a bit of pace. So we just dive into the pits as Schumacher also follows up to us, and we'll be going to the hard tires, as currently our soft tires are at a 64% tire wear. So the tire wear is definitely quite high, and we have to take into consideration, because in the earlier F1 games the tire wear at the British Grand Prix was low, but here in this F1 22 game the tire wear in the British Grand Prix is high. So it will be a difficult challenge to maintain 16 laps in this hard tire. They will obviously be in the 60% zone by the time we finish the race, so we have to be just careful of that, but we do not also have to be slow. We just have to give it everything, because that is the reason why we did some undercut, and we have to make the most stick as we go down the inside of Schumacher and we make the undercut possible. So Schumacher was in the cold hard tires because he pitted in the lap 10 itself, and we were at least one lap old fresh hard tires. So for that reason we were having the tires at the optimum temperature and we make the most stick. So Schumacher was trying to send one down the inside at this loop, but he couldn't, as he was having some cold tires, and we were just able to maintain our position at the P17. And now it is all about hammer time. So we have to just send it, absolute send. As talking about send, Guan Yu Zhou gets DNF'd. So it is a hat trick of DNF for Guan Yu Zhou, because he retired in the Spanish Grand Prix, Canadian Grand Prix, and again in the British Grand Prix. So an unfortunate turn of things for the Aston Martin driver, as we are just undercutting so many cars. You can see now Dragovic and Latifi also got undercut here at the lap 17, and now we are currently at P11. So we get some DRS failure, but that is obviously not a concern, because obviously we are not in the DRS range of any of the cars in front of us. And still at the lap 18 we are just pushing so hard. You can see we are just trying to gain that 1 point from Ocon, and he's 3.3 seconds in front of us, and in the next lap he's 3.2 seconds. So I think we were equal in terms of pace with Ocon, and that is the reason why we just couldn't catch up too far, as in the next lap you can see we are 3.5 seconds. So we are just giving it everything and utilizing the hard tires to as much as possible, because obviously it is the matter of 1 point, and if we get that 1 point we'll be moving up the championship order. But as you can see here, Fernando Alonso gets DNF'd. So unfortunate turn of things for our teammate, as he gets DNF'd in the lap 21 of the Grand Prix. So a difficult race for the Spanish guy, but we have to take into consideration, because not every race will be a complete race. So these DNFs are part and parcel of the F1 game, as we just got a tank slapper at the lap 25 because our tires are just dropping off. You can see there is a white line just is forming on the tire, so the tire degradation is quite high. And here in this penultimate lap you can see we are almost 60%. So we have hit the threshold of 60% tire wear in 15 laps itself, so the tire degradation is quite high. And since we went for an aggressive setup, there was a bit of sliding all over the place, which just made the tire degradation much more. But still it doesn't matter, because we just couldn't catch to Ocon, and we had a comfortable margin from Schumacher behind us. So we finished in P11. Obviously a wonderful recovery drive, as we've started in P21 and finished in P11. So I'm happy with the performance, but still if we had some better car we would have definitely caught Esteban Ocon. So Verstappen, Norris, Sergio Perez get the podium at the British Grand Prix, and we are at P14 in the Drivers' Championship. So we have a lot of scope to improvement, and we are at P9 in the Constructors' Championship. And Haas and Williams in front of us, so we can get some points in the upcoming races and move up the order in the Constructors. So that is what we are targeting this season, as we do some sponsor renewal things. So we just get some new sponsors, and hopefully they will be giving us some better revenue, as we are also doing some driver upgrades. So I'll be improving upon the feedback, power mapping, and the social media team maybe. And we are doing some durability section R&D upgrades, so that at least the DNF of Fernando Alonso in this race, such things do not happen in the upcoming races. So for that is the reason why we chose the R&D upgrade for durability section. As we continue Esteban Ocon as our rival, and hopefully we will be able to defeat him in the upcoming races. So this was about the British Grand Prix, and thank you guys for watching this video, and do like and hit subscribe for daily F1 22 content. And we will meet you again in the next Grand Prix, which will be at the French circuit Paul Ricard. So till then, peace.